Hello again, everybody. David Clary along with Blake Woody, Caleb Riker here in Gulf Shores, Alabama, getting set for Oak Ridge High School baseball. The Wildcats taking on Alabama Christian Academy. We're glad you've tuned in on this beautiful day in the on the Gulf. Beautiful sunny skies as the Wildcats prepare for their first road trip down in Alabama. They could potentially play 3 or 4 ball games. We're going to be down here for as many as we can, and then we're heading back to Murfreesboro as the Wildcats take on the Walker Valley Mustangs in the state basketball tournament. But we are going to be here for a while. And Blake, the weather's been good. I know you and Caleb have done a lot of fishing on the pier and such. How have things been for you?
It's been great. It's been fun to just fish and hang out here and down in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Fans are filing in here. We have a good contingent of Oak Ridge fans. It was kind of an interesting trip. Basically, almost all of the parents have brought their families here, so there's a lot of Oak Ridge people here at this tournament. I mean, a ton of Oak Ridge people at this tournament, more than, unfortunately, we saw at the girls' basketball tournament the other day.
Yeah, the girls' basketball tournament, it was a good game, but at the end, we need more hustle and.
I'm going to turn the mic off here for a second because, unfortunately, there is music playing right above me. We are live here in Gulf Shores, Alabama, on the coast of the Gulf of
America?
Well, that's what they say. Blake, I put you on the spot there. Caleb Riker's with us. He'll be doing the scoreboard and camera for us. We're live here from Gulf Shores. We're going to get underway here in a few short moments. It's the Wildcats and Alabama Christian Academy, and we'll be back to Gulf Shores in a moment. Welcome back to Gulf Shores. They're still working on the field, so we're running a little bit late on the ball game here. The Wildcats taking on Alabama Christian Academy here on a beautiful sunny day on the coast as we get set for this ball game here on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We appreciate you watching. I know right now we have 7 people watching, and hopefully we'll have more as we get ready for the ball game here on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Stay with us. Welcome back to Gulf Shores on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, getting set for Oak Ridge High School baseball. I had the lineups for the Alabama Christian Academy, but they were too hard to read, so we're going to hope to get through by listening to the public address system. I'll run down the Wildcat lineup, leading things off for the Wildcats will be Warren East. He'll be followed by Parker Free, then Mikey Teasley, Cam Welch, Peyton Witter, Cy Stevens, Carson Fagan, Isaiah Wilson, I believe, and Richie Ferreira. That's the starting players for the Wildcats. Coaches are meeting out in the home plate area as we're just moments away from Oak Ridge High School baseball. We talked about the weather being a little cool, I guess. You're used to coming to the beach sometimes, but it is, I point out, it is still just March. It isn't like it's the middle of June, but it was very comfortable. I don't know, 70-ish, I guess, when we got here yesterday. But Caleb and, what's your name, Blake, have been out at the pier fishing. They went out. What time did you all go out last night?
Last night we were there from maybe 6 to 9-ish. And then today we went out at 9 to 4. Not 4, 2.
So a lot of fishing and a little bit of baseball here, and we're going to stay as long as we possibly can. As I mentioned, because the Oak Ridge basketball team is playing on Thursday, we probably will maybe get some of the Wednesday first game. I think they might have a doubleheader on Wednesday, but then we're going to be heading back to Oak Ridge to get ready for the basketball game, which will be at 8:15 Eastern on Thursday as the Wildcats take on the Mustangs of Walker Valley. Blake, you were with me at the girls tournament. Unfortunately, the Lady Wildcats lost their ball game, but hopefully we'll have a longer stay this weekend in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this boys tournament. I do think we really do have a great shot at the state title this year, as long as we play well and get the job done.
Caleb, I don't know if he's ready to talk, if he wants to talk at all today. He went fishing today, and there was two big ones that got away, and he's not too happy about it. Caleb, there's always later on tonight.
Yeah, there is, David, but yeah, I wish I could have had those 2 back.
I don't know that I've ever seen anybody more depressed about missing 2 fish in my life, or whatever it might have been. Could have been shark, who knows?
Well, hopefully it wasn't a shark, because that would have been nasty to get off the hook.
I'm going to put the mic down once again. The mic is the music is playing loudly here. It's Oak Ridge baseball against Alabama Christian Academy. We'll be back hopefully with the first pitch in a moment. Let me go back through the lineups once again. Leading things off, playing center field for the Wildcats will be Warren East. Batting second and playing catcher will be Parker Free. Playing third base and batting third will be Mikey Teasley. Camden Welch will be on the mound today for the Wildcats. Batting fifth for Oak Ridge will be the first baseman, Peyton Witter. Batting sixth will be the left fielder, and that needs to be that is Cy Stevens. And then batting seventh will be the second baseman, Carson Fagan. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, for Noah Wood, that'll be Isaiah Wilson. And batting ninth will be the right fielder, Richie Ferreira. The Alabama Christian pitcher warming up. We got their lineup, as I mentioned earlier. It is incredibly hard to read, and it was not printed. It was basically in cursive. When I can read cursive, but it was too cursive, and the guy told me when I got it, he said, "Good luck with that," and I said, "Well, thank you." And he said, "We'll send you a bill later." I don't think I'm going to pay him for that lineup.
Yeah, that lineup was not looking too good. It was just super hard to read.
And we're about to get set here. We're live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Hopefully the sound is loud enough. Please let me know if you're listening or watching if the sound is loud enough for us. I know my cohorts here, they don't talk very loudly. So as Warren East will lead things off for the Wildcats. Warren has one home run on the year. That came in the, I guess, the second ball game of the year as he steps in, right-handed hitter. Facing Alabama Christian here at Gulf Shores Tournament here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. And this first pitch of this game is about to get underway. Here it is. Hit hard, but foul down the third base line. And the count is 0-1. Just underway. Winds blowing from left to right. Yesterday, when we got here, the wind was blowing very hard. There was choppy waves. In fact, Gulf is not known for the waves. But yesterday, quite a few waves. As Warren steps back in, no balls and one strike. Hit well into center field. Center fielder in on it. Can't make the play. It's a leadoff single and a great start for the Wildcats. Leadoff single for Warren. And the batter now will be the catcher, Parker Free. Parker, a sophomore. Saw considerable playing time most of the year as the starting catcher a year ago for the Wildcats. And he bats from the right side. Travis Free is the head coach, and that is his dad. Big lead at first for the Wildcats. Parker stands in, squares to bunt. Draws a throw over to first, and Warren is back to the bag easily. Parker back in. Right-handed hitting catcher. Big lead for Warren. See if he goes. Once again, he draws a throw over to first, and easily back to the bag he goes. Parker will be followed by Mikey Teasley in the Wildcat lineup. Mikey had a good pitching performance the other night against Halls in a district win over at Halls High School. Once again, he squares to bunt. Warren's going. High pitch. Here comes the throw. It's going to be offline, and that's a stolen base for Warren East. So the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position and nobody out. And a 1-ball, no strike count on Parker Free. Appreciate the Ferreira family watching us from California as that pitch is hit foul. Out of play over towards the silver van, but it misses it, and the count is even at 1-ball and 1 strike. Appreciate Blake and Caleb making the trip down to Alabama to help with these broadcasts. I know the Oak Ridge baseball family does. Appreciate them. I do, for the most part. Here's the pitch, and Warren's going to his third, and that's another stolen base. The pitcher has an unusual kind of wind up, and it creates a delay as he comes to the plate, which has allowed the Wildcats to steal second and third. Parker will step back in with an opportunity to give Oak Ridge an early lead. Pitch down low, nice block by the catcher, keeps it in front of him. And Parker will stand back in once again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the first inning here from Gulf Shores. Right-handed pitcher from Alabama Christian, and the 2-2 pitch way up high. Full count now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Free back in, 3-2 pitch. Hit foul off to the right side and deep and well out of play. One hops the fence, but well foul. The dimensions of the field, it's 320 down the line in right field. Is that 330 in center?
380.
That's what I thought. I couldn't believe it. 380 is big for a high school field. And 320 down the left field line. Are you saying I need glasses? As Parker takes ball 4. Blake, are you saying I need glasses?
Yes, sir, David.
I've heard that from him. Wildcats will have runners on the corners. We'll have a courtesy runner coming into the ball game for the Wildcats, and coming in to run will be Kipton Fagan. Kipton will be the base runner out at first. The Wildcats still have Warren East at third base. The batter is Mikey Teasley. Mikey had a really big game against Coalfield last Thursday in the Wildcats' victory. Runners at first and third. Mikey sporting those big orange shoes. He's committed to play ball at the University of Tennessee. He says he's totally committed. We hope he stays with it. He's a junior. Balls are 20-0 right now. Here's runners going, and here comes another throw. It's going to be a high, and the Wildcats are going to have a play at the plate, and he is safe. So a double steal gives the Wildcats a 1-0 lead, and Warren with basically 3 stolen bases there, and the Kipton as well with a stolen base. And the Wildcats have a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. Mikey steps back in. Alabama Christian Academy is the opponent for the Wildcats. Good lead at second by the freshman Kipton Fagan. And the pitch on the inside corner at the belt, and the count is 0-1 to Mikey Teasley. Might be 1-1. Yes, 1 ball, 1 strike. Kind of screen from the scoreboard. 1-1 pitch. Mikey hits it hard but foul down the right field side into the bullpen area. And Mikey falls behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mikey will be followed by Cam Welch. Cam will be the pitcher today for Oak Ridge in their first game here in Gulf Shores. Kipton takes his lead off of second. The pitch to Mikey, bounce to the plate, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think this is Caleb's first baseball game of the year. It is. Blake's been this number 2. Yes, people are watching now. I'm getting the text as I normally do during ball games. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at second. 1 run in for the Wildcats here in the first. The pitch to Mikey hit hard on the ground. Shortstop, booted by the shortstop, and he's not going to throw out Mikey Teasley. Advancing to third is Kipton Fagan, so Mikey's aboard on the shortstop error. And the Wildcats have him on the corners once again with nobody out. And the batter now will be Cam Welch. Welch bats from the left side. He is a junior on the Oak Ridge team. Oak Ridge wearing their pinstripes, as you can see. This beautiful day in Gulf Shores. We're sitting here in our shorts. Wonder how the weather is back home, Blake.
Well, hopefully it's better than this. It's a little windy down here.
I don't think it's better. I think it's colder. As runners going, the ball is hit foul down the left field line this time. And the count is 0-1 to Cam Welch. No balls, 1 strike. Cam bats from the left side. Mikey takes his lead off first. It's a big lead. The Wildcats have Kipton Fagan at third. 1 run in, 1-0 Wildcats. Alabama Christian pitcher steps off the mound. As I said, we have their lineup, but I could not read it. I mean, just to be honest with you, they don't have a PA, or at least I didn't notice it, giving the starting lineups. Here's the pitch. Runner is going. The ball is hit on the ground once again, deep short this time. He does field it. Goes across the diamond in time, and heading towards third is Mikey Teasley, and in to score is Kipton Fagan, and the Wildcats now lead it by a score of 2-0. Give an RBI to Cam Welch. He is retired shortstop to first for the first out of the inning. And the batter now will be the senior first baseman for the Wildcats, Peyton Witter. Peyton pitched the other night in the loss to Gibbs. Pitch to the plate. Down low a ball. The Wildcats have yet another runner at third. This time it's Mikey Teasley. As Peyton steps in a moment, we'll get the camera swung over on Mikey as he takes his lead. We'll see what Peyton does. Pitch, cut on a miss. Go ahead and get a shot of Mikey taking his lead off the bag. Junior wearing those orange cleats, as I mentioned. You can go back to Peyton now. Blake's a good camera guy. Pitch to Peyton is hit on the ground. Once again, this time the third baseman. He throws on the first, but that's another run for the Wildcats. It's 3-0. Giving RBI to Peyton Witter. That is out number 2. He is out 5-3 if you're keeping the book at home. I doubt many people are. But the Wildcats have played at 3 here in the top of the first inning. And the batter now will be the left fielder, Cy Stevens. Cy, big burly senior. Will move on to play some college ball next year after his senior year. The pitch to him is hit on the ground. Once again to the shortstop. He's booted one, but not this time. He does throw low, but it's dug out in time for out number 3. But a very productive inning for the Wildcats. They put 3 runs on the board without the benefit, with the benefit of only 1 hit. That was the leadoff single by Warren East. Wildcats go to the bottom half of the first inning. Cam Welch on the mound for the Wildcats. 3-0 Oak Ridge. We'll be back to Gulf Shores, Alabama on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, on our broadcast, sponsored today by Okies Sports Grill. And we appreciate Okies for helping us out with our broadcast today down here in Gulf Shores. And, of course, Hart Construction. That's Len Hart, the former Wildcat baseballer, who's helped us out partially with our broadcast. We'll be back to Gulf Shores in a moment. Welcome back once again to Gulf Shores, Alabama, as we broadcast on our YouTube channel. Cam on the hill for the Wildcats. Cam struggled in his first ball game against Maryville, but pitched a shutout at home in the Halls game last week. 1-1 on the year, and the first pitch is a fastball a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes to count. We believe this guy's name is Morgan, but I wouldn't bank on it just by trying to read the lineup. That pitch is a called strike at the belt. That evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 3-0 Wildcats as the Alabama Christian bats here in the bottom of the first. Hit foul, right side. Peyton Witter giving it a look, but it's going to drop off the fence, out of play, and the count is 1-2. I was just told it was 54 degrees back in Oak Ridge. That's not bad. That's really not that bad. These guys sitting next to me, they just can't wait to get back to the pier or the jetty, wherever they're going today. You never know with these guys. They love to fish. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Welch has the sign from Parker Fergie. I'll set the defense in a moment. Ball's hit right past the pitcher, fielded by the shortstop. Throws on the first in time for the out. It's out number 1. And the batter will step in. 1 out here in the first inning. Set the defense for you. Around the infield, the first baseman is Peyton Witter. At second base is Carson Fagan. The shortstop is Noah Wood. The catcher, as I mentioned, is Parker Free. Cam Welch on the hill. I'll set the outfield in a moment. That pitch is called strike at the knees. In left field for Oak Ridge is Cy Stevens. The center fielder is Warren East. And in right field is Richie Ferreira. Cam comes to the plate. Cut on and missed. And the count is 0-2. Wildcats plated 3 runs in the top half of the inning, only 1 base hit. Pitch, a little outside, and the count is 1-2. State tournament basketball on Thursday. Oak Ridge taking on Walker Valley. We'll have the broadcast at 8:15. Pitch is up high. Should be even count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here, nobody aboard for Alabama Christian. I haven't picked up on their mascot yet. We might send our ace reporter down to find out what they are. As that ball is hit on the ground, 2 hops to Peyton Witter. Fields it and steps on the bag for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down. 2 down for Cam Welch. And the number 3 hitter, who also wears number 3, big burly guy, steps to the plate, hitting from the right side. I'd estimate his height to be somewhere around the 6'2 to 6'3. Big, tall, rangy guy. As I mentioned, we do have the roster, but Blake could not read it. I could not read it. And so we didn't even bother to let Caleb read it. We knew he could read it. Maybe. He might be smarter than us, Blake. Maybe we should have asked him.
Maybe that would have been a good idea.
1 ball, no strikes. The pitch outside. And the count is 1-1. Welch comes to the plate. The pitch, cut on a miss. Pitch down low in the strike zone. He swung over the top of it, and the count is 1-2. Good turnout of Oak Ridge fans here. That pitch is on the inside corner. Called strike 3, and that is out number 3. Number 3 didn't really like that call, but that is. So Cam gets him 1-2-3 as we go to the second inning. The Wildcats will send to the plate the lower part of the order: Carson Fagan, Isaiah Wilson, and Richie Ferreira. That'll be the scheduled hitters in the Oak Ridge lineup. We're live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, and this tournament edition of Oak Ridge High School Baseball is brought to you by Okie Sports Grill and Hart Construction. Lynn Hart wishes the Wildcats well this season and while they're down in Alabama. We'll be back to Gulf Shores in a moment. David Clary back here along with Caleb Riker and Blake Woody as we are broadcasting from Gulf Shores, Alabama. On a beautiful day for baseball. Any day is a beautiful day for baseball, especially with sunny blue skies here. The wind is blowing a little harder now coming from right field towards the home plate area. As I mentioned at the 4-hour break, it'll be Carson Fagan, Isaiah Wilson, and then Richie Ferreira, the scheduled hitter. And 3 of us were talking during the break. Our first look at Isaiah Wilson. He'll be batting next. He's the designated hitter today. He'll be hitting for the shortstop, Noah Wood. Carson stands in. Carson hit a home run against Halls the other day. As Blake and I thought it was foul, but it stayed fair, and he takes the ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Blake, you have to admit, it looked like it was going foul when he hit it.
Yeah, it was right on the line when it went out. It definitely looked like foul to me.
But it counted, a 2-run home run for Carson, his first of his career, as he squares the button, takes a strike, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. I asked him right after the ball game if he had ever hit one. I thought maybe in Little League perhaps. He said, nope, that was number 1. So big day for him at Halls the other day. Righty comes to the plate. Hit off the end of the bat to the third baseman. He feels it, throws in time to retire Carson for out number 1. And the batter now will be, as I mentioned, Isaiah Wilson. And I believe he is a freshman. Might need to get some verification on that. As Carson is the first out, and he's out 5-3. Isaiah will be followed by Richie Ferreira in the Oak Ridge lineup. Right-handed hitter wearing number 16. Big burly guy, if he is a freshman, as the pitch cut on and missed. And the count is 0-1. The Wildcats plated 3 runs in the first inning. A leadoff single by Oak Ridge's Warren East, and the Wildcats stole a few bases. Actually, Warren stole 3 in the first inning, as that pitch is a called strike at the belt. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Alabama Christian Academy is the opponent. Here's the 0-2 pitch. A little bit low, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Richie Ferreira will be following him. I know Richie's family watching in California right now. They always watch our broadcast. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch to Isaiah. The pitch cut on and missed, and that's a strikeout, and that is out number 2. So after a kind of a shaky start to the ball game, the Alabama Christian pitcher has kind of settled down a bit. Had an error behind him in that inning, and the Wildcats ran on their catcher with ease. 2 outs, nobody aboard. The batter is the number 9 hole hitter, and that's Richie Ferreira. Richie had some really fine hits last year in the run to the state tournament. He bats from the left side. He's a senior, and he takes a strike at the knees, and the count is 0-1. Richie's got a unique personality, as anybody who knows him can tell you. No balls and 1 strike. That one's down low. And I asked you this the other day, Blake. You were on the football team with him. What kind of a teammate was he?
He was very electrifying. He brought a lot of energy to the team, but he was fun to play with, yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike to him. The pitch hit in the air, foul off to the left side and over the top, over into the bullpen area and out of play. And Richie behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He'll be followed by Warren East, but there are 2 outs. Nobody aboard as the Wildcats bat here in the second inning, leading 2-0. Righty versus lefty. The 1-2 pitch hit foul again. Back our way. Off the top of the dugout and out of play. So Richie stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wildcat basketball team plays on Thursday in the state tournament against Walker Valley. They're in the final 8 in the state. We'll have the broadcast for you on FM 92.7. They don't allow us to stream, as that pitch to Richie is down low, a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. They do not allow us. In fact, we didn't have permission to stream this ball game until we got here, and their coach didn't have a problem with it. As I told them, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. As that pitch is a called strike, and Richie goes down for out number 3. That is strikeout number 2 for the Alabama Christian pitcher. We go to the top of the bottom half of the second inning here at Gulf Shores, Alabama, as we're live on our YouTube channel. And this tournament brought to you by Okie Sports Grill and Hart Construction. We will be back to Gulf Shores in a moment. Welcome back to Gulf Shores, Alabama. David Clary, Blake Woody, along with Caleb Riker. Wildcats on top of Alabama Christian, 3-0. And once again on the hill will go Camden Welch, the left-hander. Got a 1-2-3 in the first inning, and his first pitch kind of goes through the mid of the catcher Parker Free. Down low, a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Parker with the sign. And the pitch. Outside corner for a called strike at the knees, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. As I sit here and broadcast the ball game, my two compadres over here are thinking about what kind of bait they're going to use when they get back to the pier.
Yeah, we're looking for those sheepheads, so we need some fiddler crabs to catch those.
The pitch, hit foul, out of play once again, back our way. It's a beautiful facility here at this high school, the home of the Dolphins. Caleb and I, we were talking as we drove in. We were in Pensacola for the basketball tournament in November. And this high school, these streets, and everything about this area looks exactly like Pensacola. Wouldn't you agree, Caleb?
Yes, it does. I mean, I'm pretty sure the high school's name was Gulf Breeze High School. They were the Dolphins, so it's almost exactly like it.
And there is, I kind of missed it. I was talking to a walk, so down the first they go. That is the first base runner of the game for the Alabama Christian. Left-handed batter, runner at first. Cheeto checks the runner. It's a shorter lead. Pitch to the plate. There's a called strike at the knees, and the count is 0-1. One ball, one strike. Pitch hit on the ground to the shortstop. He can't come up with it, and they'll have runners at first and second. And that is the first error committed by the Wildcats. Ball was hit hard. Shortstop Noah Wood went to get it, just couldn't come up with it cleanly. And they've got runners at first and second with and the right-handed hitter steps in against Cheeto, and he squares the bunt and fouls it back to the screen. A lot of foul territory directly behind the plate, a lot more than we see in the local fields. Infield in at first. Peyton's on the grass, on the edge of the grass. Mikey even with the bag at third. Cheeto. Camden Wells, they call him Cheeto, and I've told you the story many times. Actually, he told me the story several times of why he's called Cheeto. He went to practice one day, and he had just eaten a bag of Cheetos, and his coach just called him Cheeto. That's as simple as that. As he squares the bunt, takes the ball, here's the throw, and they've got the runner picked off between second and third, and here's the tag, and that is out at the plate. So good play there. Parker Free catching the runner in between bags as he was heading towards third, and Mikey throws it, and the tag is applied, and that is an out recorded, and that is the first out here in the bottom of the second inning. They maintain a runner at first. Peyton still on the grass, and the pitch to the plate is hit in the air. Shallow center field. Warren East is under it, and he calls for it, and the sophomore makes the catch for out number 2. They picked up their first 2 base runners. One of them retired on a base running blunder, and now a soft fly ball to Warren. And they'll step in with 2 outs here in the second inning. Runner takes his lead off of first. The pitch is high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Oak Ridge fans got quiet all of a sudden. There's quite a few of them sitting here in front of us. Another ball, 2 balls and no strikes. It's a beautiful facility, as we said. Wind's kind of still blowing in as that pitch is down low. It's going to allow the runner to advance down to second. Parker's going to go through with the throw, but he was easily at second, and they've got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. This is a high school field we're playing on. I just got that question as the ball is hit on the ground. Second base side. Carson Fagan fields it, throws on to Peyton Witter at first in time for out number 3. They pick up a couple of base runners, and they leave one stranded. We go to the top of the third inning. It'll be the top of the order for the Wildcats. Warren East will lead things off, followed by Parker Free, then Mikey Teasley. 3-0 Wildcats. We're live from Gulf Shores. Hardin Valley Academy is down below us, and it looks like they'll be playing after us. So we've got some local teams here. Hardin Valley will play after us. This tournament edition of Oak Ridge Baseball is brought to you by Okie Sports, Grill, and Hart Construction. And Lynn Hart wants to wish the Wildcats good luck down here and all season long. 3-0 Wildcats. We'll be back for the third inning in a moment. Welcome back once again to Gulf Shores, Alabama. The Wildcats. Was that my phone? Warren East hits the ball on the first pitch to medium left field. The left fielder calls for it and makes the catch for out number 1. So one pitch and one out. Warren, in his first plate appearance, had a single, stole second, stole third, and came home on a double steal and scored the Wildcats' first run. Thank you there, Blake. Better now is Parker Free. Parker walked back in the first inning. Pitch to him, bounced at the plate, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. 3-0 Wildcats in this beautiful facility here. There's a lot of different fields of all kinds all around us. A nice little sports complex. Parker hits it foul back to the netting behind the home plate area. The ball's tracked down in foul territory by Mikey Teasley, who's on deck for the Wildcats. Parker back in. The pitch to him, hit on the ground up the middle, and that's going to be a single for Parker Free. The ball goes bouncing into center field, and the Wildcats have a one-out base runner. See if we have a courtesy runner once again, and we will. Looks like it's going to be Kipton once again to run, Kipton Fagan. Kipton was the backup quarterback for the football team, one of the backup quarterbacks. Parker was the other, so he's running. It's quarterback for quarterback right here, running for one another. Kipton was a freshman, had a injury to one of his wrists in the football season, missed second half of the year, as he does have a little guard on that wrist. It was on his hand as Mikey Teasley steps in. Mikey, see what he did. He reached on an error back in the first inning, scored a run. Throw over to first and easily back to the bag. Will go Kipton. I'm going to ask Blake about Kipton as a teammate in a moment as he takes his lead off of first. Pitch to Mikey is evidently just a bit high. One ball, no strikes. Our scoreboard, baseball scoreboard on our YouTube channel, not working yet. We'll get that taken care of soon. Okay, Blake, what kind of a teammate was Kipton?
Well, Kipton's a very good teammate, great player, great leader, excellent quarterback, and he's just an all-around good person.
Blake says nothing bad about anybody except occasionally me. I don't know why that happens, but Mikey takes a strike. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out. Wildcats on top 3-0 as they bat here in the third. Mikey played football his freshman year. Elected to go with the baseball as he swings through that one. And the count is 1-2. Mikey was a good football player, Caleb. You know that.
Yes, he was. He was a really good linebacker. He wasn't the best quarterback in the world, but very, very hard-hitting middle linebacker on the freshman team.
But I think he's made the right choice, picking baseball over football. Kipton takes his lead off of first, leaning towards second. The pitch is hit well, deep to left. Left fielder back on it. The ball's over his head. That ball is out of here. A home run for Mikey Teasley, and the Wildcats have a 5-0 lead. As Mikey comes rounding third, the ball just kept going deep. It was 3:20 to down the line in left field. The ball just going back, and the Wildcats have a 5-0 lead over Alabama Christian. And Mikey, I believe, with his third home run of the young season as they celebrate right here in front of us. Next time he hits a home run, we'll have to get that. We missed it in the Halls game. Maybe somebody, Blake, will hit another home run for us.
Let's hope so.
5-0 Wildcats. Batter now will be Cam Welch. Cam picked up a RBI on a ground out. Two runs scored by Mikey. That ball's hit deep second base off the second baseman's glove. He can't come up with it cleanly, and Cam is on Bates with a, well, I hate to give him an error, but that is an error on the second baseman. So the Wildcats have another runner in a 5-0 ball game as they bat here in the third. Batter now will be Peyton Witter. Peyton picked up an RBI on a ground out to third, his first time. Right-handed hitter. I think he throws from the left side, but he hits from the right side. Runner at first. 2 runs in on the 2-run home run by Mikey Teasley. Pitch, down low, a ball. As I mentioned, Mikey's committed to play ball at the University of Tennessee. He just swept the Florida Gators this weekend at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. 1 ball, no strikes to Peyton. Throw over to first, and back to the bag he goes. We've got a courtesy run over there. I just realized Andy Hudson is the courtesy runner. Takes his lead off of first. The pitch to Peyton Witter is up high, a ball. Our camera guy is right now Blake Woody, our scoreboard guy. He's doing a bang-up job, too, is Caleb Riker. We don't have the balls and strikes working yet. Pitch is down low, a ball. Peyton ahead in the count. Andy Hudson. He is a sophomore member of the Oak Ridge baseball team. Played football. Also has sustained an injury during football season. Saw his season cut short as Peyton fouls it back over the top of the screen and out of play. I believe the count is 3-1. 2 runs in on the 2-run home run by Mikey Teasley. Runner takes his lead off of first. That's Andy Hudson. It's a big lead. Let's see if he goes. Nope. Peyton is hitting the back, and he'll be a base runner. I know Blake told me he played ball when he was little. Reason he quit is because he got hit too many times.
No, sir, that was not the reason.
What was the reason?
I wanted to play more football instead of baseball.
Okay. You know, there's more money in baseball than there is in football.
Yeah, but I think football is way more fun than baseball. I played outfield, so. Oh, you're right. Sorry, David.
As speaking of that, did you guys see that T. Higgins signed today a 3 or 4 year deal with the Bengals? Did you see that? $115 million, I believe. I think it was $115 million. So congratulations to T. He's going to stay with the Bengals. That's where he wanted to stay. Can't believe you just slammed baseball to a baseball crowd. He'll be no longer with our broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, as there's a called strike on the inside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. The Wildcats have 2 on once again. Batter now is Cy Stevens. Cy, in the first inning, grounded out to short to close out the first. Wildcats put 3 on the board in the first inning. They've put 2 on the board here in the second, trying to get more. Cy calls time and steps out of the box. No balls, 1 strike. Andy takes his lead off of second base. Peyton takes his lead off of first. Pitch is cut on and missed. That's a swinging strike for Cy. He'll be followed in the Oak Ridge order by Carson Fagan, who grounded out his first time. 5-0 Oak Ridge, third inning. Kind of a beautiful facility. Our vantage point, we're under cover in the shade and up in the stands broadcasting. They have a press box, but to be up there for whatever reason. The count is even, I believe, it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. You're already getting comments here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch to the plate, down low, bounces away, and the Wildcats will have 2 runners in scoring position as Andy moves over to third. He was going on the play. Peyton was heading anyway. The ball eluded the catcher. I'm going to go ahead and give them. They would have had a stolen base anyway. That's my nice scorekeeping right now. As Wildcats trying to get 2 more here. They're in scoring position. Right-handed hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 2 on, 2 in. Pitch. Hit in the air. Center field, medium center field. Tagging at third is Andy Hudson. He does tag. Here's the throw. It's cut off by the pitcher. They don't have a play, and that's a run for the Wildcats. And Oak Ridge now leads it by a score of 6-0 as Andy Hudson comes in to score. Run number 6, and staying at second is Peyton Witter. There are now 2 outs in the inning, and the batter will be Carson Fagan. Carson grounded out to third his first time, 0 for 1 in the ballgame. Appreciate Okie Sports Grill, Linhart Construction is one of our sponsors of Oak Ridge High School baseball on our YouTube channel Prep Radio. The pitch, that's up high to Carson, and the count is 1-0. Do you want to retract what you said, Blake? Carson back in, 1 ball, no strikes. Runner takes his lead off of second. The pitch, cut on and foul tipped, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. I like the pinstripe jerseys the Wildcats are wearing. They have a multitude of different jerseys they do wear, including the Oak Ridge Bombers jerseys from the old league, Negro League back in the 1950s. They'll wear that at some point this year. The pitch bounces away and bounced away from the catcher. Peyton is going to advance down the third. The catcher didn't do a whole lot of work, really. I mean, if he'd come up with it quickly, because Peyton didn't initially know the ball had eluded the catcher and didn't break towards third. But the catcher just kind of wandered back and picked up the ball, and that allowed Peyton to advance to third. Wildcats have the lead 6-0, I believe, Caleb. Is that correct? Trying to get one more as Carson steps in. The pitch to him. Cut on and miss on a high fastball. And he's got an even count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Peyton Witter takes the lead off of third. The 2-2 pitch hit in the air on the infield. First baseman back on it, came in. It's going to be the second baseman, makes a basket catch for out number 3. But the Wildcats plate 3 more runs. They do it. The big hit, the Mikey Teasley 2-run home run. The Wildcats lead Alabama Christian Academy 6-0 as we go to the bottom of the third. We'll be back to Gulf Shores in a moment. Welcome back once again to Gulf Shores, Alabama, where the Wildcats lead Alabama Christian 6-0. Alabama batting in the bottom of the third against Camden Welch. He falls behind the leadoff man, 2 balls and no strikes. That pitch was high, 3 balls and no strikes. Ball 4, leadoff walk here in the bottom of the third inning. Wildcats have the lead, 6-0. Second walk of the ball game given up by Cam Welch. One ball, no strikes. We're live here on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. Pitch to the plate is a called strike. Runner at first. Pitch to the plate is up high. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 6-0 Wildcats. Cam Welch trying to win his second game of the year. Knocked off Halls in a shutout win. Pitch is hit off the end of the bat. Fielded by Witter. He's going to tag the runner out, advancing down to second. I wouldn't call that a bunt. I would call that just an out. He didn't mean to hit it that softly, but Peyton fielded it first, and advancing to second is the runner for Alabama Christian, and that is out number 1 here in the third inning. Right-handed hitter, runner at second, 1 out here in the bottom of the third inning. Cheeto comes to the plate, breaking pitch in there for a called strike. Blake Woody doing our camera work along with Caleb Riker. His beautiful facility here. The Dolphins, I'm looking at their softball field. They've been at the state tournament several times. That pitch is hit foul and out of play. And the count is 0-2. Cam comes to the plate. 2-strike pitch is a little bit high. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the third. 6-0 Wildcats. 1-2 pitch hit on the ground. In the hole, left field, that's a base hit. Wildcats come up quickly with it. Cy does in left field. They've got them on the corners with 1 out in a 6-0 ball game. Runners on the corners. I believe that's the first hit of the ball game for Alabama Christian to go along with the 2 walks. Cheeto comes to the plate. Breaking pitch is at the belt for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. 1 out, runners on the corners in a 6-0 ball game in the third inning. Pitch hit foul, coming back our way. Parker gives it a look all the way back to the screen. Does he have room? He did, but couldn't quite make the play right in front of the netting. I think he was so close to the wall there, he just kind of took his eye off of it to save his own self. And the count is 0-2. Welch comes to the plate, 0-2 pitch, called strike 3. Good pitch right there by Cam, and that is, I've got him with 2 strikeouts now. And there's 2 outs. And big number 3 steps to the plate. Draws the cross in the non-dirt, but kind of part of the turf, I guess, as the pitch is cut on a miss and pitch low in the strike zone, and the count is 0-1. The Hardin Valley's here. Looks like they're going to play right behind us. I see them watching our game. Cut on a missed. Swinging strike that time. Took something off of that one. He swung way ahead of it, and the count is 0-2. Runners at first and third. That pitch is up high. Couldn't get him to go fishing once again. Speaking of fishing, are y'all going fishing later?
That's up to Woody if he really wants to. I mean, you know the answer for me. I always want to go fishing, so.
There's a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, 2 on. 6-0 Wildcats as they play here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Cam comes to the plate. He almost took a swipe at it, but held up just in time. And the count is full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Okay, so the decision is on Blake Woody.
Yes, we're going fishing today.
Okay, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch is not made. It's a throw over to first. Question is will you catch something? Last night I think you caught a couple catfish.
We caught 5 catfish. 2 of them were about the size of our arm, but the other 2 were pretty small. But hopefully we catch a sheephead today.
Pitches hit foul back to the screen. So what is your goal to catch, Caleb?
Sheep's head or Spanish mackerel. Or if there's redfish or red snapper there, I'd be fine with that too.
2-strike pitch is ball 4. And the bases are loaded. So, Cam, I noticed something a minute ago when he walked off the mound in the second inning. Looked like he was kind of holding his side a little bit. I don't know if he's 100% in this game. He looked so good in the Halls ball game the other day. Just kind of grinding through it here with the bases loaded in a 6-0 ball game. Pitch, cut on a miss. Beautiful pitch that time by Cam. And the count is 0-1. Parker gives him a quick sign, and Welch comes to the plate quickly. That one's up high. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Peyton Witter is down at first base. The second baseman is Carson Fagan. Noah Wood is playing short. 1-1 pitch is low, actually high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mikey Teasley's at third. Cy Stevens in left. Warren Easton center. And Richie Ferreira's in right field. That pitch is high and tight. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. No place to put this guy. 3 balls. Is it 3 balls and no strikes? No, you should. Wow, it is. 3 balls and 1 strike. He's walked a couple in this one. It's just been a little bit wild. Parker gives the sign. And the pitch. Hit on the ground. Kind of helped him out. Carson feels it. He'll step on the bag in time for out. He didn't move the camera. For out number 3. So, Cam Welch gets into a little trouble. He works himself out of it. We go to the top of the 4th inning here from Gulf Shores, Alabama, that you're listening to live on our Prep Radio channel. This tournament is brought to you by, this Oak Ridge Baseball is brought to you by Okies Sports Grill and Hart Construction. Lynn Hart wanted me to wish the Wildcats well from him and wishing them well this season. We appreciate Lynn Hart. He played baseball for Oak Ridge, left-handed pitcher. In those days when Central was king and Todd Helton was the big guy at Central High School. 6-0 Wildcats as we get ready for the 4th. We'll put down the mic here, and we'll be back with the 4th in a moment. Welcome back once again to Gulf Shores. This beautiful high school field, home of the Dolphins. Gulf Shores High School. Batter now will be Isaiah Wilson. He's the designated hitter today, hitting for Noah Wood, and he hits the ball foul over the top of Alabama Christian Academy's dugout, out of play, and the count is 0-1. Isaiah was a strikeout victim his first time. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Behind in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Pitch to him. That's bell tie, maybe a little outside. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Isaiah's hitting for Noah Wood today, who's playing shortstop. Right-handed hitter, 1-1 pitch. That's down low, 2 balls and 1 strike. We're in the 4th inning in a 6-0 ball game. The Wildcats in the lead. Caleb, you're going to have to pull up the schedule and tell me when the game time is for tomorrow. Maybe we can find out from these parents as that pitch is up high. And the count is 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. Pitch. That's ball 4. So Isaiah is leadoff man here, and he's on base. And the batter will be Richie Ferreira. Richie struck out looking his first time. Caleb, what's our next scheduled game down here?
It'll be the same exact time tomorrow, and we will be going against Alberta High School.
Thank you very much. We will be at a different field, so not sure where we'll be. We'll at Alberta High School. Okay, thank you, Caleb Riker. Wildcats have a base runner at first base. Batter is Richie Ferreira. Bats from the left side. As I mentioned, 0 for 1's a huge lead at first. See if he draws the throw. Nope. Pitches down low, a ball. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Coach Travis Free barking out the play to Richie and his base runner. Good size lead at first. Let's see if he goes. Richie hitting the count. He does draw a throw, and easily back to the bag he goes. Richie will be followed by Warren East. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. A single and a run scored and several stolen bases to get the Wildcat offense going in the first inning. Pitch. That's a ball down low to Richie Ferreira. I know Richie's grandparents are watching us from California. Hello, Richie's grandparents. Like I said, they watch us all the time. And glad to have them. Glad to have anybody watching our broadcast on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We know baseball is for baseball people for the most part. The state tournament, we had a lot of people watching, several thousand actually. But there's so many baseball games played during the course of the year. We will have basketball for you on Thursday, not on YouTube, but on our FM station. We will be recording it for a later plate. Ball hit on the ground. That's a base hit for Richie. Solid base hit. That's good to see. Rounding second and hitting towards third. He's in safely, and Richie is down at second. So nice couple things happened there as Noah, I believe, was running for himself. Noah Wood was, and Richie has the base hit. So good to see that. Richie hasn't come out of the gate super strong yet at the bat. We know he will. He did so last year. As Warren East steps in, Warren singled, stole second, stole third, and came in on a double steal in the third inning. And he also flew out to the first inning and flew out to left field. 2 runners in scoring position already, 6-0 Oak Ridge over Alabama Christian. They bring in their infield at every position as Warren takes one down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, the entire infield is on the edge of the grass. Third baseman a little bit closer to the bag, trying to keep Noah close. Richie Ferreira takes the lead off of second. Noah Wood off of third. The pitch. Warren swings and he misses. And the count is 1-1. Wonder how far Alberta High School is, guys. Hopefully not too far. That'll take away from your fishing time. Well, as they both nod their head. One pitch to Warren East is down low a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. There are a ton of Oak Ridge people here. I mean, of all the teams here, there's probably more parents and fans here, grandparents and brothers and sisters taking advantage of the good weather and the beach conditions, although yesterday it looked like a lot of waves. I mean, for the Gulf, that probably was the most waves I've ever seen in the Gulf. They had the red flags out and nobody was allowed into the surf. Today, the red flags were down and people were in the water. They had their hooks in the water, but not their bodies in the water, as that pitch is a called strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners at second and third for the Wildcats. Be alive here, Blake, for a big action play as Warren steps back in. The pitch to him is down low. Not much action, but something positive is Warren loads the bases with a walk, and the Wildcats have the bases loaded. Nobody out. And the batter will be, looks like Parker Free. Parker walked and singled, so he's officially 1 for 1 in the ball game with a walk. Conversation about to take place on the mound. Let's close in on this conversation here as Coach Travis Free has words with the Wildcat on-deck guys and the base runners and our coaching staff, and as they get ready to play with the bases loaded here in a 6-0 ball game. Wildcats scored 3 times in the first inning, 3 more in the third. They're threatening to score in the top of the 4th inning. The Alabama Christian loaded the bases in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, but weren't able to get it done against Camden Welch. Conversation is over, and strolling back into the dugout goes the Alabama Christian Academy coach. They gave us the roster, like I said, and I apologize. They're not running a PA system or anybody in the press box there. It was in cursive writing, and it looked like Caleb's writing, so we could not read it. So, bases full of Wildcats. Parker the batter. Parker is a sophomore, played about every ball game last year at catcher for the Wildcats. Some infield. Good hitter, good catcher, and he takes one down low, 1 ball, no strikes. 6-0 already. The Wildcats in the lead. Trying to get more here in the top of the 4th inning. Right-hander checks the runner. That's Noah Wood at third. The pitch. Hit on the ground. Down the line. That's a base hit. That's at least 1 run in. Noah Wood comes in to score. Here comes Richie Ferreira coming around to score. And the green and the stoplight is given at third. He initially waved him home, but the throw from the left fielder came in very, very strong. And Warren East is able to scramble back to the bag at third. The Wildcats will have him at second and third. And it's now 8-0 Oak Ridge. For Parker, that is a double. 2 RBIs. And once again, we'll have a courtesy runner, and that conversation that took place before Parker's at bat is going to take place again, but this one's not going to be as pleasant. He is about to hit the showers as he'll head towards the dugout, I believe, although this is his second visit. The umpire's out to remind him that you can't talk forever, as the Wildcats have put 2 on the board here in the 4th inning. Waiting for the relief man to come in. The umpire says you can't waste this much time, and here comes the new pitcher for Alabama Christian Academy. 8-0 Wildcats as we play here at Gulf Shores. We'll put down the mic here as the music plays. We'll be back to Gulf Shores. 8-0 Wildcats in the 4th. We'll be back in a moment. David Clary back here along with Blake Woody, along with Caleb Riker at Gulf Shores High School, home of the Dolphins. And we appreciate our ability to broadcast the games here. The tournament, this tournament edition is brought to you by Okie Sports Grill and Lynn Hart Construction Company. Lynn Hart, owner, would like to wish the Wildcats well this season. They're down in this tournament. He's a longtime supporter of Oak Ridge baseball. The outfielders' conclave is over. They retreat back to left and right field. I guess the center fielder was feeling lonely, and they came to talk to him as Mikey Teasley steps in. Mikey had a 2-run home run his last time. Scored a run, reached on an error his first time. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. The pitch to the plate is a ball. So a new pitcher on the hill for the Alabama Christian Academy. Another right-hander facing Mikey, who hit one deep to left and gone his last time. He's got 2 runners in scoring position here with nobody out in the top of the 4th. That one's way outside. And the count is 2-0. Blake's currently doing the camera. I thought they were going to switch off, but it looks like they're enjoying their roles. Caleb looks a little pink-faced over there out in out in the out on the pier earlier, and looks like we have a balk. The Wildcats have another run. It's now 9-0 Oak Ridge. As the Wildcats come in to score with Warren East, I guess it was a balk. Balk. It's hard to explain a balk. It's you can't deceive the base runners when they're on base, and you can't make a false step one way or the other to try to fool the base runners, and that's what he obviously did. It might not have come set. There's a lot of reasons why a balk could be called. It's a kind of one of those calls. It's you don't see a whole lot, but it happened and results in a run, and it's 9-0. It's all that matters.
Yeah, I did not know that was a thing.
Here's the pitch to Mikey, and then I don't think they really wanted Mikey to do what Mikey does, and they walk him here. So the Wildcats have runners on the corners with nobody out, already leading 9-0, and the batter will be Cam Welch. Cam picked up an RBI on a ground out back in the first inning, reached on an error in the third. The Wildcats scored 3 runs in the first, 3 in the third. The Wildcats have put how many on the board in this inning as they bat with runners on the corners. Let's see if we go with the steal right away. Mikey is heading that way, and they'll let him go. It's a stolen base for Mikey Teasley to go along with his 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs and a home run. Cam Welch batting behind in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Pitch. Good stop by the catcher. Keeps it from going back to the backstop. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Still nobody out here in the 4th inning in a 9-0. I think it's 9-0. Is that the correct score? Make sure that it is 9-0. Had to check with Caleb. I'm looking through a meshing. I can't really see the scoreboard. There's a pitch. Hit foul back to the screen. The count is 1-2. Peyton Witter is on deck for Oak Ridge. Peyton today has an RBI with a ground out. Was hit by a pitch, stole a base for the Wildcats. Mikey takes his lead off of second. Wildcat base runner. And hit foul. Base runner at third for Oak Ridge is Kipton Fagan once again. He's running at third. Kipton has stolen a base and scored a run in this ball game. He's the base runner, the courtesy runner for the catcher, Parker Free. 1-2 pitch to Cam Welch. Outside and high. And once again, another run scores, and it's 10-0. I'm not sure exactly. I guess it was. He pointed straight down. I think the umpire is now telling him what he's doing wrong, and that's the second balk called this inning. And the umpire, which I like to see in the high school level, is out there to kind of instruct him what he is doing wrong to get those balks. And I like that. It's a little teaching moment from the umpire. But it's 10-0 now, Wildcats. And as we play here in the 4th inning, runner at third. It's Mikey Teasley now. Kipton Fagan came in to score. That ball's ripped to left center field. That's a solid hit. And in the score is Mikey Teasley, another run. And that is RBI number 2 for Cam Welch. Nothing fancy, just put his bat out there and knocked it in for an RBI single. And the batter now will be Peyton Witter. And he'll be replaced on the base paths once again by Andy Hudson. So you got your courtesy runners. A little lesson for you. The catcher and the pitcher can have runners for them. They're called courtesy runners, Blake.
I didn't know that either.
Well, you're a football guy. Runner takes his lead off of first. That's Andy Hudson once again. He draws a throw. Alabama Christian Academy is the opponent today. Looks like Hardin Valley is still watching from the left field stands. Pitch to Peyton is way outside, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Didn't seem to be a whole lot of urgency as I went over to the dugout, the Alabama Christian dugout, and they didn't, as Coach Free usually is. They were just kind of joking around and laughing. Kind of joked around with me. 2 balls and no strikes. Peyton Witter back in. Pitch, hit foul. Back to the screen. 10-0 Wildcats as they bat in the fourth. $11-0 Wildcats. That ball is hit on the ground softly to the second baseman. Peyton is going to reach base safely. And Peyton really didn't chug down the line. The second baseman, once he booted it, he didn't really try. He didn't really look at Peyton, who was really not, just going at full tilt down the line. Hit it off the end of the bat. The Wildcats have runners at first and second now. And Peyton reaches on an error by the second baseman. 11-0 Wildcats. And the batter for Oak Ridge will be Cy Stevens. Cy is 0 for 2 in the ball game. The Wildcats have Whit Reniger on deck. Reniger is on deck for the Wildcats. He'll be a pinch hitter. Cy Stevens is the batter, and he takes the strike. And the count is 0-1. 11-0 Wildcats over Alabama Christian. Chuck Matthews watching down in Houston, Texas right now. Pitch is just a bit outside, and the count is even at 1 strike. Live from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Fishing awaits, guys. Looks like it's coming sooner than later. With an 11-run lead, still got to get to the fifth. As the pitch to Cy is cut on him, missed, and the count is 1-2. Reniger is on deck for Oak Ridge, as I mentioned. Cy Stevens steps back in. I think Reniger used to be maybe the principal at Robertsville. Yes, he was. Caleb says. I remember that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cy Stevens back in. The pitch to him. Down low a ball, and that evens the count, I believe, at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still nobody out, I believe, here in the fourth inning, and it's 11-0 Wildcats. Cy back in. 0 for 2 in the ball game, trying to reach base safely for the first time. Right-handed relief pitcher from the stretch comes to the plate. That's a little bit high, and the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cy's a senior. Transferred in from Hardin Valley, I do believe, last year. Pitch. That's high, and that's ball 4. So the inning continues. And the batter will be, as I mentioned, Whit Reniger. As he steps in, batting for the first time that I've seen. He might have played in an earlier ball game, but he checks in with the umpire. He'll bat from the left side, and I believe, Caleb, he is a freshman. Whit. And he'll bat from the left side. I don't have their classes. They've brought, I believe, 30 players down to this tournament, and now we're going to have another long walk from the dugout. We'll check in. Wildcats have the bases loaded yet again. Peyton Witter is the runner at second. They've got Andy Hudson at third and Cy Stevens, and that's a very slow, long walk out to the hill. It's already 11-0 Wildcats. He hands the ball to his coach and heads to the dugout. We'll have our second pitching change of the inning, our third pitcher of the day for Alabama Christian. 11-0 Wildcats. We'll be back with more baseball action from Gulf Shores, Alabama, and a tournament brought to you by Okie Sports Grill and Hart Construction Company. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Gulf Shores, Alabama. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top 11-0. There's still nobody out in the fourth. The bases are loaded. And the batter will be pinch hitter. We're going to have several pinch hitters, it looks like, coming up here in the next few moments. This is Whit Reniger once again. He bats from the left side, facing a right-hander, a new pitcher on the hill, the third used by Alabama Christian. Looks like Isaiah Wilson is going to bat once again. He was replaced on the base paths by Noah Wood, but he's going to get another at bat as Whit steps back in, left-handed hitter. No count on him as of yet. Bases full of Wildcats, 11-0. Oak Ridge in the lead. Pitcher taking forever. Works from the stretch, has the sign. And the pitch to Whit. That's way back to the backstop. And his first pitch after a long delay and getting mentally set to throw it, he throws it back to the screen, and it's now 12-0 Oak Ridge. Whit takes the ball, obviously. 1 ball, no strikes. The younger siblings of the Oak Ridge baseball players are playing football behind the bleachers now. Lost interest in a 12-0 ball game. As Whit Reniger steps back in, the pitch to him. Ball 2, way up high. Wildcats have base runners at second and third. Peyton Witter is the base runner at third, and looks like Cy Stevens down at second. Reniger back in. 2 balls, no strikes. The sign, the pitch. That's a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. They have something called the mercy rule, though, Blake. But unfortunately for Alabama Christian, it doesn't kick in until the next inning. So maybe they have a Florida or an Alabama rule. Pitch, that's up high, and Whit is on base with a base on balls. Isaiah Wilson steps back in once again for the Wildcats. Isaiah on the day is 0 for 1 with the ball with a strikeout and a walk. He steps in with the bases loaded once again. That pitch is up high. Ball 1. Wildcats have Titus Fetters on deck. He'll be batting next, barring a triple play here. As the pitch, almost hit him. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Kind of buzzed his nose a little bit. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Wildcats already lead in this one, 12-0 in the 4th inning. Live from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Bases full of Wildcats. The pitch. High and inside. 3 balls and no strikes. Sometimes you just kind of hope the coach will throw in the white towel a little bit, because this one is not hitting in the direction this Christian Academy wants it to go. As Isaiah steps back in, 3-0 pitch to him, and not even close. And that's ball 4, and that's the second walk of the ball game for Isaiah Wilson. And the batter now will be our friend and colleague, Titus Fetters, member of the Prep Radio crew. Make sure you get everything Titus does on camera here, Blake, because he'll want to watch it for sure. Bases full of Wildcats. Titus steps in, right-handed hitting junior. Does camera work for us in football and in basketball. Probably would in baseball if he could, but he's on the team. And he looks down at Coach Free. An opportunity for the big guy to do some damage for the Wildcats, wearing their pinstripe jerseys. Titus steps in. That little giggle laugh as he tells the umpire his name as he wanders to the plate with the bases full of Wildcats in a 12-0 ball game. Titus Fetters, right-handed hitter. Bat squarely on his right shoulder. takes a strike on the inside half of the plate at the knees, and the count is 0-1. Titus looks like a baseball player. I mean, he looks like a baseball player. One strike pitch to Titus. Cut on and missed, and the count is 0-2. Titus took kind of a half swing at that. On deck for Oak Ridge, the Wildcats have Andy Hudson. Nobody out here. Pitch is bounced to the plate, and another run's going to score. In to score for the Wildcats is Cy Stevens. And yet another run on the board. Caleb, what is the score now? 14-0. Wildcats over Alabama Christian. Blake moved here from Hawaii and was telling us the other day and has told us several times, let me get ready to call this home run for Titus here. No balls, or 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch. That's inside corner. The ball bounces away from the catcher, and Titus is going to reach. And another run comes in to score. The Wildcats played another run. In the score this time is Whit Reniger. And the Wildcats now lead it 15-0. And Titus is aboard safely. So Titus is the base runner at first. The Wildcats have a runner at third. I think Alabama Christian is out of pitching. But what I was going to say a moment ago, Blake came from Hawaii, and the school that he came from obviously was not very good in sports. But obviously you have been part of a football team that made it to the state semifinals. You've covered 2 basketball teams who are in the state tournament. And now the Wildcats are pounding a team from Alabama.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Oak Ridge ever since I moved here. I never expected to be playing for a school this big and this amazing at sports. It's truly incredible to watch.
Andy Hudson swings and fouls it back to the screen. A lot of different people playing in this one, and why not? It is 15-0. Caleb is thinking about fishing, naps, and food. Pitch to Andy is down low. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. There is still nobody out in this inning as they continue to bat around as that pitch is foul tipped into the mitt, and the count is 1-2. 15-0 Wildcats. Looks like Brantley Taylor might be on deck for the Wildcats. Is that Brantley? It is. He's on deck in the on-deck circle right here in front of us. Andy Hudson back in. Titus Fetters takes his lead off of first. The pitch is down low, a ball. Mikey Teasley had a home run, a 2-run home run, but just about everybody who's played today has contributed mightily to the Wildcats' big win, big score. They haven't won yet, but I have a feeling that's in the offering. As that pitch is down low, once again to Andy. And the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Some of the Oak Ridge fans are reading books. 3-2 pitch, cut on and missed. And that is the first out of the inning as Andy goes down. I've kind of lost track of who's where. As Brantley Taylor will step in to bat for the Wildcats, and I'm trying to think, this might be his very first varsity at bat. At least he might have had some in the games that we've missed. Of course, we were doing basketball in the earlier ball games, but he stands in. He plays catcher for the Wildcats, has been around the program for a while, and he takes one outside and low, and the count is 1-0. Wildcats have runners on the corners still. Let's see. Looks like we have another guy on deck for the Wildcats, and that'll be Colton Bankin. He's on deck for Oak Ridge. Pitch to Brantley is a called strike. Runners on the corners. Honestly didn't expect to come down here and see a game such as this, but we've got it for you live and proud as that pitch is down low, a ball. The relief guys have just struggled to find the strike zone. You know, this guy came in, and he was the third pitcher. He is the third pitcher. Second pitcher used this inning. He took a while on his first pitch that he tossed, and he went all the way back to the backstop. So I don't know how much experience he has as a pitcher. I know he's not good at keeping his hat on. The last 3 pitches have resulted in his hat getting dirty.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for him right now.
Not for his hat, for sure, and not for his team, as it's 15-0 Wildcats. Pitch. That's another ball and another walk. So Brantley is on base. And my scorebook is totally gone. I do know now that Oak Ridge is sending to the plate Colton Bankin, another right-handed hitter. Young player for the Wildcats, getting a chance to play here in Gulf Shores, Alabama. They'll play again tomorrow at 4:30 Central Time, 5:30 Eastern Time. I think my biggest question I'm getting from people back at home is, are you going to be back in time for the basketball game? As that pitch is a called strike. Yes, we will broadcast the basketball game on Thursday night from the Murphy Center in the campus of Middle Tennessee State. Another big question is, how is Caleb getting home?
Well, we don't know that for sure yet, but we'll figure it out for him.
Pitch is cut on and missed once again by Colton Bankin. Hopefully the Bankin family is here. If not, watching us on our YouTube channel. His first varsity at bat, I do believe. Right-handed hitter. Bases full of Wildcats. Pitch up high. And the count is 1-2. We've got one out. The Wildcats lead at 15-0. Wildcats, a state tournament team a year ago. Picked up a win at the state tournament, their first win in 52 years at the state tournament as they knocked off Bradley Central. Pitch ripped to center field in the gap, and it's going to roll for a little bit. 1 run in, 2 runs in, and we've got a double for Colton Bankin. And it's 17-0 Wildcats. Colton Bankin with a solid 2 RBIs. And it's Titus Fetters scores a run, along with, let's see, who was the other guy that scored the run? Isaiah Wilson, thank you. There's so many different people coming in the game. I don't know if there was another runner named Isaiah that came in as Trice Sharp is going to bat now. Trice getting his first plate appearance. Pitch to him is a bit high. Sometimes you see the umpires starting to feel a little sorry for the team that's being pummeled, but he's still calling a legitimate strike zone. As the pitch is, there's a called strike at the knees. Nice pitch. And the count is even at 1 strike. Let's see. Another guy on deck for the Wildcats. Looks like Cannon Sachs is on deck. That pitch is up high. So Titus and Isaiah Wilson score runs. Just about everybody has scored a run in this game. My scoreboard, I'm not going to be able to run down all the totals. I can remember some of it, but so many different people have played, and that's the way you like it. You come to a long road trip like this, and you want everybody to get a chance to play. Let me tell you one of the coolest stories. You all won't care, but nobody will believe this, but I actually played high school baseball for Oak Ridge High School. When I was a junior, there's a called strike. When I was a junior, we went down to Florida and played 4 or 5 ball games in Central Florida, and we actually played a doubleheader with the Boston Red Sox in an exhibition ball game. We played after them as that ball is hit in the air, foul territory. Catcher didn't really give it a look, but it comes down anyway, which was one of the coolest things that I can remember. I actually do remember, and this is before your all's time, but Carl Yastrzemski actually played for the Boston Red Sox. He was a stud for the Red Sox, and one of their coaches was a guy named Don Zimmer. We were passing by the laundry, and they were doing their laundry in there, and there was a Hall of Famer's jersey going round and round in the dryer, and we all looked at it like, that'd be kind of cool to have, but we didn't touch it. So, but that was one of my cool experiences. I didn't have what you call the most stellar baseball career, but I do like baseball, as the bases are loaded again. And wow, I've lost track. It is 17-0, Caleb? 17-0 Wildcats. And I think, let's see if the coach is going to decide this is enough. We're done. Let's head to the house. Let's head to the pier. Let's head to get some food. Let's see what this conversation is. It doesn't involve an Oak Ridge coach, but their coaching staff might just be telling the umpires, listen. And I think they're going to say they're going to keep on playing, it looks like. We're going to bring in another pitcher. We are live from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Let's see. Wildcats hoping to get at least another at-bat for this young man, Cannon Sachs. The sacks are going to be loaded once again. Going to put down the mic once again. 17-0 Wildcats. Back to Gulf Shores, Alabama in a minute. Welcome back once again to Gulf Shores, Alabama. As the sun begins to set here, the sad news is my boys over here can't wait to go out and fish. As the Wildcats will have, let's see, Cannon Sachs batting, followed by Cam Britton in the Wildcat lineup. The Wildcats on top 17-0. I got a request from somebody on chat that wants me to explain something, and I will in a moment as Sachs takes a ball down low. The difference between a pinch runner and a courtesy runner is a pinch runner can come into the ball game, one time. Well, in high school, you can re-enter one time. That ball is hit well to left field. Left fielder back on it. He's going to make the catch, and the Wildcats are going to be merciful. They could have scored a run there and given Cannon Sachs an RBI, but I think 17-0, they didn't want to do that, as the batter now is Cameron Britton. Cam, a member of the team a year ago, and bats here for the first time. About everybody has play that's available. I think it looks like Jackson, and I hate to pronounce, I don't know the young man. Nope, it's going to be Whit Reniger once again on deck. As a nice job of hitting, as Cam will step in. Bases full of Wildcats. It's 17-0 Oak Ridge. A courtesy runner, the pitcher and the catcher can be run for at any time during the course of a game. That is what a courtesy runner is. A pinch runner is just a regular pinch runner for any runner. And in high school ball, you can re-enter a ball game. You can't do it twice. You can only re-enter once. But the courtesy runner can run and run and run for the pitcher and the catcher. That's the difference. As there's a called strike to Cam, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Cam keeps saying he's going to be a member of our crew, but we haven't really been able to get him to come. Pitch to him is hit well into left field. That's a solid, at least one hit. They're going to go station to station baseball as the Wildcats will score with Brantley Taylor coming in to score. That is an RBI single for Cam Britton. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It is now 18-0 Wildcats. And the batter now, let's see, who is this? This is Ian Koth, I believe, number 20. Do you know him?
No, I do not.
Got a lot of youngsters. Got a lot of younger players. So Ian bats here for the first time. Bases are still loaded. He hits the ball on the ground, this time to the third baseman, and they've got the force out at third. And mercifully, this hour-long inning comes to a close. The Wildcats lead it by a score 18-0, I do believe, as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning here at Gulf Shores, Alabama. We are live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, and this tournament edition of Oak Ridge High School Baseball is brought to you by Okie Sports Grill and Hart Construction. Lynn Hart wishes the Wildcats well, not only just at the tournament, but as well this whole season, and hopefully another run to the state tournament. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and my friends are going to have to help me. They got better eyes than I do. They're going to have to help me with the participants in the field. Brantley Taylor is taking over at catcher. Looks like Tri Sharp is now pitching for the Wildcats, and let's see, playing. Look, I see Titus. Titus is out in right field. We'll get the others in a moment. Looks like. Got a lot of these freshmen. There's a called strike from Trice, and the count is 0-1. Caleb, you got any more changes there? Who is the new first baseman?
18.
Kanan Sachs. And there's another called strike. Count is 0-2. Help me with some more of the numbers here. I don't know these new younger players here by sight yet. And my eyes are not good enough to see their numbers. Sidearm pitch is ripped in the center field. That's a base hit. And the new shortstop for the Wildcats. Let's see. We got a new shortstop in there. And he does not appear on my roster. And I feel bad for that. But help me with some of the other numbers as they bat from the right side. I believe it's 18-0 Wildcats. Trice comes sidearm and fires a strike in there, and the count is 0-1. Runner at first in an 18-0 ball game live here from Gulf Shores, Alabama. Tell him we're on right now. Right-handed pitcher, the pitch, cut on and missed. And the count is 0-3, and that's a strikeout. I missed a strike somewhere. So that's out number one. And Trice gets the out. And the batter now will step in against Trice Sharp. Got a whole new group of people in the field. As we're going to try to find out some of the other numbers when they turn around. It's starting to get a little cooler here. Gulf Shores. Trice comes sidearm once again. And the count is 1-0. 18-0 Wildcats is the Alabama Christian bats in the bottom of the fourth inning. Pitch, that's a little low. Bounces away from Brantley, but not far enough for the runner to advance. Wildcats could have put a few more runs on the board in the top half of this inning, but mercifully they played some station-to-station ball for Alabama Christian. But it is 18-0. Scoreboard couldn't even keep up with the amount of runs scored that last inning. There's a called strike. Trice goes sidearm. Pitched well at the state tournament last year. Got a chance to interview him there, I remember. I think it was in the Bradley ball game. We also played Nolensville. Trying to remember the other team we played. I think we played 3 different games. I remember Nolensville, and I remember Bradley, and maybe I'm forgetting another team that I didn't want to remember. 18-0 Wildcats. If you just tuned in, the Wildcats have played a lot of different people. Cam Welch pitched until this inning, and he sat through an hour-long inning when the Wildcats roared up. I think it was 6-0 before that last inning, and then they scored 12 runs in the top half of the fourth. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first, 1 out. We're in the 4th inning. Trice Sharp. The sidewinder comes in, called strike 3, and that's another strikeout. It's hard to pick up his motion, obviously, when he goes sidearm. In fact, Blake, why don't you zoom in on Trice here when he pitches? As it's 18-0 Wildcats, and let's see how close you are. Yeah, go as close as you can to get him in the picture, just to show that this windup. He comes sidearm, a little submarine action, and that one's a called strike at the belt. Just you don't see that very often. We saw Jacob Franklin do the same a couple years ago, and Trice picked it up as well, and he's been very effective as a reliever, and he gets a swing and a miss there, and the count is 0-2. He's got 2 outs here in the 4th inning in an 18-0 ball game with the Wildcats in the lead as we broadcast here from Gulf Shores High School, home of the Dolphins. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Trice Sharp. That one's outside and high. Nice stab there by catcher Brantley Taylor. I apologize. I haven't been able to get all these fielders in. I just don't know these youngsters. I really don't. I know Brantley. I know Titus. And there's probably others out there that I do know. Pitch is hit on the ground. Third base side. Nice play. Fields it. Throws on to first. In time for the out. That was Colton Bankin at third base, who makes the play across the diamond and caught by Cannon Sachs for the 3rd out in the inning, and that is the final out of the ball game. The Wildcats are victorious in 4 innings over Alabama Christian High School by a final score of 18-0 as we broadcast on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. I know we still have to have the post-game show, so stay tuned for that as we are live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We'll be back. 18-0 Wildcats. Oak Ridge wins their 4th game of the year. We'll be back in a moment. I'm going to attempt to try to give some of the stats here. I don't have a whole lot of good ones. I mean, I have a lot of great ones, but my handwriting and so many different people played, it's going to be hard to decipher. And I don't have baseball guys up here to keep the book for me. But I can tell you that Warren East had a single. He walked. He stole 3 bases. And let's see. Parker Free, singled, doubled, walked, knocked in 2 runs. Kipton Fagan also stole a base and scored a run. Brantley Taylor had a walk. Colton Bankin had a 2 RBI double. Cam Britton had an RBI single. Mikey Teasley scored a run, had a 2-run home run, scored 2 runs, and long blast to left field Mikey had. Cam Welch, that is, let's see, had an RBI ground out, an RBI single. Andy Hudson scored a couple runs. Peyton Witter was hit by a pitch, had an RBI and a stolen base. Cy Stevens had a walk in the ball game. Let's see, Isaiah Wilson had a couple of walks. Richie Ferreira had an RBI. And Colton Bankin, as I mentioned, with a 2 RBI double as well. We're live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. The Wildcats knock off Alabama Christian Academy here in Gulf Shores, 18-0. We are going to forego our post-game show and close it out here. We'll get a chance to talk with Coach Travis Free tomorrow. 18-0 is the final score. Until tomorrow, at 5:30 Eastern Time. This is David Clary for Blake Woody and Caleb Riker saying so long, everybody.